Hello and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, I'm Deirdre, and today I'm going to be doing a plan with me for November in my very simple, not minimalist, but very simple bullet journal. Now, I don't decorate, I don't draw beautiful things. There are so many fabulous creative people out there who do. I'm not one of them, and quite frankly, that's not the purpose of this for me. For me, it's a simple way of recording the things that I want to keep track of in any given month, and giving me a way to go back through the years and see where I was, what, I can take notes, put them in the index, that sort of thing. So I'll start by a very quick run through of what it is. So it's just, it's a moleskin A5, and I just tape the top so I know which way round, because otherwise they really just look the same, front and back and top and bottom. So for now, that's what I do. Just won't show you my address, but I just have an entrance page, and then I have the classic index where some things get put in and some things do not. These were my goals for 2019, and this is my Q3 and Q4 book list. I set myself the challenge, just excuse people calling out outside, they're perfectly friendly and lovely. I set myself the task of reading a book a week for the rest of the year through the last 2 quarters. So, and then at some point, I think about here, can't remember, I set myself the task of doing 19 before the end of the year. So that was fun. So I'm getting there. I'm getting really close. So I think it's over here somewhere that I have to get to by the end of December. Oh, and the meowing is my little grand kitty. He's wandering around somewhere. So then I went into specific goals and content planning, things that I would do along the way, and then I went into July, okay, which brings us through the beginning of November. And I've just done these little hexagons because I thought they were kind of cute, and I was talking to a friend about bees, and she said, oh, I've got a hexagon stencil, so I used it. What I've done is just make 4 specific goals for habit setting in November, and I've put a what, a why, and a how. So every goal isn't just what, it's also why, and that's the big driver, and how you will do it. So these are the 2 extra things that go on each goal. So there are 3 little hexagons for each. So this one is daily exercise, and this is for health and fitness, and how I have to build an environment that works. And that means things like putting out my gym gear the night before when it's part of my evening routine. That's the type of thing. Budget tracking, because it's really good to keep financial concerns under control, and also to track how I spend and to make sure I've got sinking funds for those big expenditures coming up. That sort of thing. Meal planning, pretty obvious. It's really good for us. It saves money and it's good for our health, so we don't rush out and do takeaways. And reading books, well, that's just a good thing. 1 per week. I've been doing really well. Now, then I've got my November log, and at the moment it's actually got a few things in it, just specific things I need to remember for each day, for any day. They're not always appointments. They can be, but in some cases they are, some cases they're not. Like, I'm going away for that weekend. I do Pilates on the Saturdays. This Saturday it's not, because it's Cup weekend. Melbourne Cup, big horse race, actually quite famous the world over, so you may have even heard of it. But that's our Melbourne Cup weekend. Things like I've got cardio in the park and bar in the park at the moment on Wednesdays and Thursday mornings at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is a bit grim when I have to leave here at about 20 past 6 to get there, but it's so much fun and it's a lovely time of the year. So I've got those done. Now my next one is my habit tracker, and this looks a bit fancy, I'm sure, but it's not, and it really works for me. I was trying 2 different types last month. Let's see where they are, back here. So this is the one that I've decided to go with, and I just literally take whatever marker is near, though they have to be the same one right through the month. It will drive me crazy otherwise, and I just cross off each day that I do it. So for me that works really well, so I've just made it for two pages of that. It's really visual, and it's obvious where I miss a day. The other way to do it is this way. It's one other way to do it is this way, with the days along the top and little codes for the things that you want to do. And that, look, it works for some people. For me, it's not so good. This way is much better. So I'm going to make sure I'm drinking enough water, and for me that probably means 2 to 3 litres a day at least. Social just means don't be a hermit making YouTube videos and doing that sort of thing. Do get out and see people. That's always a good thing. Plants, that means I've looked after my plants, I've fed them, watered them, whatever's needing. Green drink is my sort of go-to protein drink with extra greens and things like that in it that just cover all the bases for me. So if I don't have a particularly healthy meal for the rest of the day, that one has covered a lot of the bases. YouTube and Instagram, they're pretty obvious. No spend. I'm going for no spend days in November. A no spend November. I'll talk to you more about that coming up. Clean eating, well, that really means no sugar. And for me, because I'm sensitive to gluten because of the medication I take, it means no gluten. And really, it does mean an awful lot of vegetables, vegetables and fruit. Up by 6 a.m, that's something good, and if I can crank that back to 5 a.m. for the rest of the summer, I would love it, because I really enjoy the early mornings. So if I can get out and walk in the early morning light, it's beautiful. Bed by 11, well, obviously 10 or 11 for 6 a.m, it would have to be 9:30-ish for getting up at 5, but we'll see. A yoga stretch in the morning and a walk and or gym. So those are the things that are there. This is my content tracker for November. Now this is for YouTube, and also because one of the things is that I want to get my website back up and running properly and get blogs back up again, because I think they're a good backup to the things that I talk about on YouTube. So I just have the days of the month, it's a short month, it's a 30-day month, and the initial for the weeks, and here it just means say YouTube comes first, and it's plan, film, edit, do the metadata, and do the upload and publish. And then here I've got Instagram, so that's for me to see if I can do a 30-day Instagram challenge. That would be fun. Please come and join me on Instagram. All the info is down below, sorry, in the description box, so you can follow me on Instagram, and I'd love that. And if I start to do my blogs again, then this little top line means that I could, because they wouldn't be done on the same day. That's plan, photos, text, and publish. So that's just a way of ticking off the various parts. This is blank as yet, because I don't want to give you any insight into what I'm planning a lot. You know, giving you a hint. I've got the no spend month and my 30 days of Instagram challenge. There we are. I've said it out loud now. I have to do it. But that is where I just put ideas for YouTube and for blog, and I just have to start getting back into being really focused. These are my November notes and task list, and I've got things that I have to get done, like a quote on the windows. I want to paint the bathroom and loo. I've got to get the handyman in to just do some finishing work, that sort of thing. Planning for 2019, that's coming up for you, obviously. Living your best life, put up all of these things. So then after that, I get to my November log, and this is my daily log. Now, one thing that I do that is different from others, as you'll see, every week, it's a week at a glance, and I have to have, because otherwise I will literally look at it and see a different date or a different day, I put them in the same place every time. So because November starts on a Thursday, I've started it on the Thursday, just left some space up here for notes or whatever, and I start it on Thursday, Friday, because then it's in the same place as it will be for the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday. So I start my week just because it fits for me. For some reason I prefer this up here rather than down there, not sure why, but so I just do Saturday, Sunday, split it, because it's easy to just jot down the things that I'll do, because they tend to be more personal things rather than chores as such, and it seems to, look, it works. Where's the old one? There's one that I've done. See, it just is an easy one. Things that I have to get done, things that I want to highlight to make sure that I'm doing it, and they do fit in and they're fine. These I tend to fill up and have a task list and have appointments in there as well. So that's how I do my weekly setup. So that's all drawn up, ready to go, right through to it very tidily ends on a Friday, which is nice. And then I go into what I call my weekly review, and at the end of each week I just jot down a few things about how it's going in each of these areas, like healthy eating, exercise and sleep, and productivity, and I just make a couple of notes and leave it at that. For example, here you see I've got week 1, week 2, week 3. I haven't done week 4 because that finishes tonight effectively. So that's just what I do, just to keep myself thinking about how was that week, what can I do that's going to be different. And here is something that I've added this month, and it's called a month in focus. So I'm just going to think about these things at the end of the month. I'm going to do the top three things I accomplished this month, and what are my top 3 goals for December coming up. I wrote November, of course, and had to correct it. How will I set up my environment to achieve these goals, because it's really important. So I put 3 things here at the moment that I've got block time. And think about a school timetable. That's how that works. Remember when we used to go and have to do 1 hour or 2 hours of a particular subject? Well, that's how block time works too, and you mark it in. I've got to put it on the calendar, give myself start and finish dates, so that it does have a place. It's not just a dream or a vague thing, a goal. It actually has a place on the calendar when it will get done, and have that focus time when everything is turned off, not just blocked, but turned off, so there's nothing else happening. For me, that often means going to sit in a coffee shop, putting on noise-cancelling headphones and just working. I like the buzz around me that I can't hear specific words and things, and the noise-cancelling headphones do that. And if I want to, obviously, I can listen to some really good focusing sort of music and have different music for different things. I might talk about that one day. That's fun. Then I've also in November put in December planning, so I'm going forward. So the 3 main goals for this month, which is really from here, but then I've broken it down into what focus for each goal and what do I want to achieve before 2019, because obviously it's not just December, it's the last month of the year. And I've also got to think about some Christmas planning. This is also new for me. I've decided that this is also going to be where I track my monthly expenses, so my income from about currently three different streams, and then the expenses for that month, and as they come out, just put them in. Total income, at least total expenses, will give me basically if I'm under or over for the month, which preferably I'd like to be over. It's always a good thing, but some months, because my income is varied, sometimes I have to accept that I'm under and I have to tap savings for that month, but then pay myself back the next month. So, but having said that, one of my streams of income is of course from YouTube, and for that I thank you all, because without you there would not be income from YouTube, and YouTube is being very good to me at the moment, and I hope it continues. And I'd love to have more of you aboard, obviously, but not for that, because the whole purpose is to give you ideas to help you do things that will let you lead your best life, and that's what my goal is, and I love the company. Now what I haven't done, but I may do, is go back to zone cleaning in November, just to get myself really on the ball. It's not that I've given it up, I just haven't been as focused for the last month. So I'd like to have the place really cleaned up for summer and for Christmas, which is a nice thing. And I've got some tasks that I want to do, but I also want to make sure that it's absolutely spotless and tidy, because then I can forget about it to some degree for the summer and just do lick and promise things like dusting and vacuuming and changing the bed and doing the bathrooms. But I do those sort of wipe down every night. I wipe down the kitchen every night, I wipe down the bathroom and the loo, always make my bed, all of those things. So that's routine for me, it's a habit. But the dig deep stuff, the deep cleaning, it's good to have a routine to do that. So let me know what you think. Would you like me to go back to zone cleaning in November, in which case I'll write it down and I'll probably publish it as a PDF, which I keep promising to do. But hey, November goals, remember, back here, my goals. So I would put it here, I would block in the time, I'd put it on the calendar, and I'd make sure I was doing it in focus time. I've got it all written out. All I have to do is to put it into a PDF form. I mean, really, it's not that hard. So that's my November bullet journal set up, and I can always add things as I go along, and I can always add in, for example, if I follow along with somebody's training. I think I've got some training coming up. There we are, Brendan Bouchard training coming up. So I quite often use this for note taking, and because I will finish this bullet journal at the end of December, it has a lot of pages in there, far more than I would need for December and or for the planning for 2019. So I'm perfectly happy to use several pages for taking notes on training. that I follow along with. Okay, that's pretty much me for the month. I hope that was interesting for you, or that you've learnt something, and please feel free to ask me any questions at all, because that's what I'm here for. I'm just sharing what I do. I'm not an expert in much. I'm a bit of an expert in moving and downsizing, I'd say. I'm very good at that, but I'm not an expert in this by any means, and I'm just going along, feeling my way, and just enjoying having this routine. I do have another planner, but it's not one that is covering just this sort of detail. I just use that for an overview for the whole year, and this one I can pull out just the months. So if you enjoyed that, then please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and do let me know about the zone cleaning. Would you like me to do that through November, just for myself? I'm just making sure I'm really back on track and the house is clean for the holidays, and also for the summer, so I can really enjoy the summer without too much fuss. And yes, but I won't necessarily do it unless I, hear that you'd like me to. And I will continue the downsizing series, bits and pieces of that as I go. So let me know, and I hope that whatever you're doing today, you're having a lovely time, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.